Good afternoon and thank you all for joining us in this edition of KTN Weekend at 1. My name is Joy Doreen Bira. Now, we begin in Mandera County where clashes are ongoing and tension remains high as clashes between the two tribes of the Gare and the Degodir continue. And joining us now to bring us an update on what exactly is on the ground is KTN's Ian Wafula. Ian, good afternoon and bring us up to speed with what's going on up there.
Good afternoon to you, Joy. The recent clashes between the Gare and the Godia this week have been taking place in Ramu town, which is just at the border of Kenya and Somalia. We got here at around 9 a.m. in the morning, and the first thing we came across was a house on fire with its occupants had left. They didn't even have the time to rescue any of their belongings. Just a few meters from that were about 100 people, villagers that is. They were probably discussing what has happened here through the week, because these clashes began on Sunday where unknown gunmen stormed the town and shot indiscriminately. It was also reported that these gunmen had sophisticated weapons, and the number of those people who were killed from that, as confirmed by the county commissioner, was 6. But word on the ground is that this number could be higher, just that people from both communities do not want to admit to how many people have been killed so far, just because of a supremacy battle between the two, given that if one community comes out and says 20 people have been killed, and the other probably community, 5 people have been killed from the other community, the first community will seem like it's losing. So there's a general combined effort between the Kenya Defense Forces and the administration police to just contain the situation, but tension is very, very high. It is reported that the gunmen strike from around early in the morning or late in the night. Now, the Kenya Red Cross also confirmed that 18,000 households have been displaced from their houses and are currently in camps. This is regardless of their clans. However, important to note is that these clans are not staying within the same place. They've actually divided the town into two, where the Gare are on one side and the Digodia are on the other side. Given the location of this town and the challenge due to communication and road access, there's actually scarcity of food and water. So the Kenya Red Cross are urging the national government to come in and help them intervene in this situation, because they are overwhelmed by the numbers here. Most of those affected are the mothers and children, more especially, as at now, many of them do not know where they'll get their next meal from. They have to sit under the scorching sun. So it's quite a terrible situation here. We do not know how the next few hours will be, but what I understand is that a few of the men have barricaded the roads and were intending to light them on fire, but put them on fire. But I believe the police will cool the situation down.
Right, you did mention that about 18,000 households have been forced out of their homesteads. Now, are there any leads as to who might be arming these two clans?
First of all, there are two theories on the ground. One is that this militia is not Kenyan, it's coming from Ethiopia. This has not been confirmed. The second one is that this whole situation is politically motivated, and it is cited that a few leaders are the ones who are arming these men. But since we're on the ground, Joy, we shall keep on the look, and we shall get to know these answers to these many questions, so that we get to understand the real cause of this conflict. As at now, Joy, we cannot confirm to you whether it is political or the militia is from out of the country.
Well, thank you so much, Ian. We do appreciate the update. That is KTN's Ian Wafula bringing us an update on what's happening in Mandera at the moment, where clashes between the Gare and the Degodia are still ongoing and, of course, forcing people out of their homesteads. We'll bring you up to date in our consecutive bulletins at 4, 7 and 9 o'clock. Now, Lesotho military has seized control of the nation's police headquarters in an apparent attempted coup. A government minister and member of the ruling coalition told AFP that the military has also jammed radio stations in the early morning coup attempt. Military units are said to have surrounded government and police buildings, and reports of gunfire in the small mountainous southern African kingdom. Since 4 in the morning, shaky coalition has governed the kingdom, which is entirely surrounded by South Africa. Since elections 2 years ago, coalition partners patched up the fragile deal through mediators in June. And National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi has said that Parliament will amend the Constitution to anchor into law sanctity of separation of power between the judiciary and the legislature. This, he says, has been made necessary because of repeated court orders given during crucial parliamentary processes, which often leave members of Parliament confused. He was speaking in Siako in Embu County.
Require of the judiciary that when a matter is before a House of Parliament or in the county assemblies, they must allow the Houses of Parliament or the county assemblies to finish what they must do, and then later on, anybody who feels aggrieved will be at liberty to challenge in courts, and that way we give sanctity to the principle of separation of powers.
Ikiwa Mheshimiwa Speaker, ule mwaka ingine budget ya Embu County ilikuwa 4 billion. Budget ya hii mwaka ni 4 billion. Hiyo ni bilioni 8 miaka miwili. Kazi ya MCAs ni kuuliza hii bilioni 8 tuonyeshwe iko wapi. Na si mtu akiulizwa anaonyesha iko wapi. Na kazi ifanywe. Hiyo tu ndio waheshimiwa wanasema itendeke.
A number of building contractors and developers in Nakuru County had their construction activities suspended, while others were closed down after they were found to be flouting the national construction requirements. The National Construction Authority carried out an inspection exercise to close down and even suspend the construction of buildings whose developers did not obey construction warning signposts, county government and NEMA approvals, among other requirements. The NCA General Manager for Registration, Compliance and Training, Francis Njuguna, said the exercise was aimed at guaranteeing the safety and health of members of the public.
There is a mechanical garage which is going on with no protection from the ongoing works. Both of those are dangerous activities. They cannot coexist together, and this site should just be closed until they are able to comply with the safety requirements. About 3 months ago, there was a wall which collapsed, and 3 innocent children lost their lives. And this is part of the reason why we really need to stress the issue of safety in construction.
The family of a deceased former government employee in Sutik is accusing the government of playing hide and seek with them in regard to his benefits. It has been 4 years of agonizing struggle for Selina Kipngetich, whose husband used to work at the office of the former vice president as a senior driver. Ever since Kipngetich was killed in a car accident in 2010, the government has refused to release his benefits to his family, which is now languishing in poverty.
Just like this. Nimesikia hiyo pesa imeingia, lakini nikifika huko Nakuru ananiambia niende kotini. Kufika kotini ananiitisha 20,000. Na saa hii mimi sina hiyo pesa. Sasa ninalipa hiyo 20,000 kutoka wapi na mimi sina pesa? Niko na watoto. na hakuna mtu ananisaidia. Sasa hawa naomba anisaidie, aone njia yote ambayo ataweza kunisaidia.
The First Lady, Margaret Kenyatta, has pledged to intervene in the fight against the high HIV infection rates in the Nyanza region. Mrs. Kenyatta said that she will commit her efforts to ensure that the virus is controlled in the region, urging the communities there to change their behavior to help achieve the goal. She spoke as she donated a mobile clinic to the county government, acquired through the Beyond Zero campaign and Equity Bank. Health Cabinet Secretary James Macharia assured residents of Homa Bay County that they will have 2 level 5 hospitals within a period of 6 months.
Excellency, the First Lady of the Republic of Kenya, Mama Margaret Kenyatta,
do that project and it's completed, which we shall do in the next 6 months. Every hospital which has benefited will automatically be elevated to become level 5. So if you don't have level 5, by the time we complete that project, Homa Bay County will be having 2 level 5 hospitals.
Thank you.
Today, we gather here to make our contribution, to add impetus to the good work that is already going on in the county. Through this donation of a mobile clinic, our mothers and their newborn babies will no longer have to die from preventable health conditions. Widows still get inherited, which increases HIV transmissions. Orphans and vulnerable children will continue to be a challenge for the development of this county unless we act now.
And now, 5 decades after independence, land disputes and issues of ethnicity continue to plague the people of Narok. This, according to a report prepared by the Kabarak Law University Law Students Association. Students who handed over the report to the Narok County Government and Law Society of Kenya, Narok chapter said these issues continued to hamper the growth of the local economy. The students traversed the county last week, offering members of the community legal advice. They warned that if the issues surrounding ethnicity were not addressed, they could pose problems to locals. The Narok County Government, through the Social Development Chief Officer Limita Ole Lemen, said it was putting in place measures to deal with land issues.
Yes to this, well, frankly speaking, we must think and we must talk about this problem and find a way through which we're going to solve such problems.
Our governor, in fact, he banned issue of title until again that issue is addressed by the county assembly of Narok County. So that is a very big step.
You're watching KTN Weekend at 1. We'll now take a short break. More news coming up. Don't go away. And we're going to be speaking to a number of Africans from Zambia, Nigeria, as well as the United States on what they think is the problem with Africa's youth. Why is it that we're so reliant on our governments to provide everything for us? What is it that we can do for ourselves? Well, that is coming up on Africa Speaks.